This video is for licensed and trained HVAC technicians only. Do not attempt any of these procedures on your own. Call the professionals.
What's going on, guys? Today I want to show you how to ohm out a compressor. Alright, when you ohm out a compressor, you can test and see if the windings are in good shape or if you have a short ground situation. Alright, so let me get started and show you how to do that. So what we have here, it's a Goodman air conditioner. It's about 7 years old. It's a CKL 36. So when you're wanting to check your compressor, the thing I'm going to do is locate the wires going to the compressor. Normally what I do is go ahead and just look down in the top and follow the wires. So I know it's this red wire when I unplug it. I know it's this black wire, and I know it's this yellow wire. I'm going to unplug all three and I'm going to keep them separated. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my voltometer out. And I'm going to turn my dial for ohms, a little horseshoe thing. Good way to tell if you got it on the right setting. Just make sure it's beeping. Alright, so if I want to check it for a short to ground, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put one of my wires against the casing. Then I'm going to go to each one of these wires. If I get a beeping noise, I know it's shorted to ground. Alright, so I don't get a beeping noise here, so this compressor is not shorted. Okay, another thing to note, that if you did get a short right here, so if it does beep off right here, alright, don't automatically assume that it's a short right now. You need to trace it. You need to go back down to the compressor and pull that cap off and look and make sure there's no burnt wires in there. But this is just a quick test just to do it. Then we're going to go to each one of our leads. We're going to check in between them. Each one of them you should hear a beep. Alright, so just go to your yellow wire, start, then just go to each one, then just switch this one to here. So all you're doing is just checking between all three of them, and you should have resistance between all of them. Alright, and that just tells you that your windings are closed. So everything should work. As long as the compressor is not burnt up, everything should be working right now. Alright, so if we've measured a short by the wires here, what we're going to have to do is remove the top. So I've taken out all the screws that's holding this thing on. In order to get the top off, you're going to need to unplug your condensing fan. Again, just locate your wires, follow them up. Then you're going to have to cut this loop off here. Alright, with that condensing fan loose, now I can just pull my unit, my top off, and set it up out of the way. Alright, now that we're in here to the compressor, I need to get this cap off. Let's get you a screwdriver. Just kind of push in on the tabs. It'll come right on off. Alright, so as we can see, all these wires are still intact, nothing's burnt. So I'm going to get me a pair of needle nose pliers. I'm going to kind of pull all three of these off. A section of my video didn't record. I guess I forgot to hit the record, so I'm just going to do this little still shot here and explain a couple different things. When you're measuring out compressors, if you're measuring to see if you have open windings, alright, you should get a beep between all of these. So it doesn't matter where you hook your wires, your leads at from your meter, it should beep off. Now, if you hook up your leads between S and run and it beeps, and then you go from run to common, run to start, neither one of these two beeps, that means that it's out on overload. There's a switch in this measuring temperature inside the compressor, so if it gets too hot, it just kills the compressor so it doesn't damage it. And if that trips, you're not going to measure anything between common and start, common, run. It's going to open them windings. Alright, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Another thing, when you're measuring for resistance, you want to measure between common and run, common and start, and you want to write down them resistance. Then you want to met, and they should equal the resistance between start and run. Alright, so I've got it hooked to common and start, and that one's 2.2. Alright, now I've got it between common and run, and that one's 0.8. Alright, now I've got it between run and start, and that's 3. So if I took my 2.2 and added my 0.8, it's going to give me 3.0. So that's telling me that the windings are in good shape. Alright, so now I've got to get these wires hooked back up, and you notice I didn't make no notes. So I really don't know where these wires are supposed to go because I didn't mark my terminals. And sometimes if you look inside the cap here, it'll show you where it goes to, or if you look right inside here, sometimes it'll tell you where it hooks up to. But let's say that there's no readings in there, and I don't have a clue on where to hook these wires up. So let me show you the easiest way I know to do that. So first thing we know, if you're measuring the resistance in these terminals, the highest resistance is always going to be between run and start. Alright, so I measured it a while ago and I know it was 2.2, or I'm sorry, 3.0. So I'm going to hook up both of these back up. I'm going to find the one with the highest resistance. Alright, and that's that one right there. Now, the terminal that is left that does not have a wire hooked up to it, that one's common. Alright, so you're going to have to use your wiring diagram, but I know black is always common, so I'm going to hook my black wire to that terminal. Alright, to find my next one, I'm going to hook my common to my common, or my black one to my common. Now I want to find my next highest value. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my voltmeter again. Alright, I'm going to go to this one. That's 2.2. I'm going to go to the next one, and that's 0.9. Alright, run and start's going to be my highest value. My next highest value is going to be start. It takes more electricity to start a compressor than it does for the compressor to run. Alright, so the next highest will be the highest electricity usage, so the next one will be start. So start is going to be my yellow wire. Alright, it's going to my capacitor. It's called a start capacitor. Alright, then my next one's going to be run. It's going to go to the red wire, which goes to the other side of my contactor. So I can go ahead and unplug this, and I can plug this one back into run. And I've got my start hooked up. Alright, then we're going to get our cap, put our cap back on. And there you go. That's how you're going to check your compressors. Alright, so, I think that's a fairly easy enough test. And just remember, the highest value, the lowest and the medium value equals the highest value. And if you don't have a wiring diagram, or you don't have a identification tag on your compressor where you don't know where the wire should go, just remember this little tip. It should make your life a little easier. Alright, thanks for watching.